Hi guys, my name is John. This is going to be my first tutorial for YouTube. I've used Blender tutorials and other ones for a long time, so I wanted to contribute to the community in a way like that. What I'm going to show you today is how to export your made models in Blender and texture them and put them into Unreal. The main focus will be putting them into Unreal, how to properly export them and how to set up the textures and the materials correctly in Unreal. I'm not like a super pro, but have been perfecting my skill with Blender and Unreal for a few months now, and I came up to a few conclusions that were not shown to me. I just had to combine all of that by myself. So we will do something fairly simple. Here we have a scene in Blender. It's one of the latest versions. I think it's 7.9a, probably. It doesn't really matter. So what I'm gonna do is do something fairly basic. Let me think. Let's do a pot or something like that. Something that we can actually texture. Don't pay attention much to the modeling, because that's not the main focus of this tutorial. I just wanted to do it all from scratch, because I remember when I was a beginner, then I really liked to have it like all included in the tutorials. So what I did, I created a circle and I extruded it, extruded again and merged in the center here. Now I'm gonna give it a shape. I'm gonna press 5 for seeing it with orthographic view. I'm gonna add Ctrl R a few loops, actually just 1, 2. I'm gonna bevel here. Yeah, it's not looking very nice, to be honest. But as I'm saying, it's just for show, just so I can do it from scratch for you guys. I'm not using the numpad on my keyboard because it just doesn't work for me. I don't know why. I don't want to research. I just got used to clicking it manually from the menu right here, so yeah, whatever. And of course we have to give it, you can use a double-sided shader in Unreal, but what I think we should do is just use the modifier solidify, and it will do some thickness for us. I think that's enough. And click here even thickness, because if you don't, then it will give you some not very nice results. I'm just gonna hide that. Smooth it with auto smooth for nice smooth groups. Do we need any creases? Oh, let me just apply the modifier. Let's recalculate just in case. Yeah, and let's not make, well, for Unreal you can make a crease over here, and then there's a script I'm using. It's called Weight Normals. If you just put it into Google, it's a really nice script. It calculates your vertex normals. So what you have here, those are vertex normals, and if you don't calculate them, usually after modeling they will be just in wrong directions, and that's the thing that gives usually incorrect shadings, incorrect smooth shading on your models. So if you just run the script, it should look better. I didn't find a way to change it manually, to change manually the vertex normals in Blender, but yeah, I'm just using the script for now. And if I have real issues, then I just go to Max or some other stuff that you can change it manually. If somebody knows a way to do it manually, then just let me know. Okay. I'm just gonna smooth it a little bit over here. That's just okay. It doesn't really matter. What we need to do is do the UV unwrapping really fast. I really hate unwrapping this kind of shapes because I don't really know how to unwrap them very good. Like it's not ideal ever when I do it. Just mark seam. There's a seam over here. And a seam over here. And one here. Should be fine. Unwrap. Wait a second. Just clear this one. This one should be good now. Yep. So as you see, we are having some issues over here. So what I like to do is create a texture and give it UV grid. Apply, and then go, if you are in Blender render and you go to texture mode, then it will display automatically. In cycles you have to pin the texture into the node, to the texture output in your default diffuse shading. So it's not very bad, but it's not ideal, I guess. Let's check it. You see it's all messy, so if we try to texture it later, it will be very bad. What I'm sorry I don't have this actually. Okay boys, we're back. I'm sorry. Look, it works. Yes, indeed. Okay. So we ended up with UV unwrapping this bad boy. So now you can see what I'm clicking, so I actually don't have to tell you. I'm just making it straight. There are like a few add-ons to help you with that sort of stuff, but I don't know, they never work properly for me, or even if they work, I'm having crashes or some issues. And so I would rather do it by hand, actually. It's bearable, I guess. The insides is not that important. You will not see it properly all the time, but just for the sake of it, let's just do it. This tutorial will be fairly long, I guess. It's probably about 30 minutes at least. Okay, let's just rotate it on 180. Oh, it's a mess. Though it doesn't really. I'm telling you, like this UV unwrapping will be fairly poor, but doesn't matter that much. I'm just gonna pack it and rotate it by 90 and fit it in. So we use a lot of the space. You don't want to leave empty spots. I'm just gonna delete the checker for now. Go out from texture mode. Shading looks a little bit funky. Let's just sharpen it here and run the script and check the UVs. Okay. Mhm. Yeah, that's okay. And what I'm gonna show you, something really basic as well. I'm gonna do a high poly out of this face and just add a little bit of detail just for sake of it and bake it really quickly and easily. I'm just gonna duplicate it and go to another layer. Let's subdivide it 2 times. Just add some loops. Okay, it's fine, I guess. One here, one here. Maybe 1 time is enough. I guess 1 is enough. And you can do soft edges because we have the subdivisions surface modifier. You don't need creases in high poly modeling. You don't need creases most of the time. I think that's fine. And what I wanted to do is just add a little bit of detail. So usually when you do a high poly, you rather go to ZBrush and refine your sculpt and add some extra details, but I'm just saying this is fairly simple. So we're not gonna bother with ZBrush today. If you like the tutorial, I guess, and you want to see something more, then if you want me to do like a high-end piece of a high-end model with the proper full pipeline for game development, and just write it in the comments, I guess. Okay, so here's our little detail. We are gonna apply the modifier. And we are going to give it a color. Let's go to cycles render because I don't know how to bake properly in Blender render engine. Go to settings, and in viewport color give it lightish blue. And we are gonna name it. It will be vase low poly. Copy. Paste, and just change it to high poly. This one we will give a color as well. It's not actually a material color, it's just a display color, so I can see it properly. And as you see, I found out it's always better to fit your low poly geometry, so it's bigger than your high poly. You can of course fiddle with baking properties when you're baking, for instance, a normal map. Go select 2 and you change the distance. You can fiddle with that, but I don't know, I'm not getting very good results. I'm getting better results with a cage, but we are not going to do it right now. We're just gonna change our low poly a bit and use the select to ray distance. This is gonna be just for the tutorial's sake, so let's try it. So what you do is you go to your low poly model, you go to node editor, and we create a new texture with blank. 1000 is enough for a small model like this. It's even too much, actually, far too much. I'm gonna name it vase maps. Click OK. Gonna unwrap it. It's assigned to our model, so it's fine. And here we're gonna create texture, image texture. Go to this and select base map, and you don't have to link them, but yeah, you can do it if you want. It will still work if you don't link them. it will just not show itself if you go to texture, and after baking will not see the results. So I'm gonna select the high poly first. Remember, always high poly first, then select the low poly. I have them both selected, then go to bake, and let's try to baking it with these settings. So when I go to my low poly and I check the geometry, we can clearly see that our crease is baked from the high poly to the low poly, so that's what we wanted. I don't see any bad glitches or anything like that. We have a margin, so that's good. Always remember to go for a margin at least 16 pixels. It's enough. And we're gonna also bake an ambient occlusion. First we save this image. Let's go to desktop, create new folder, tutorial, and rename this to base normal. That's it. And now let's bake ambient occlusion. This will take a few seconds. Ambient occlusion always calculates longer. Okay, we didn't set up lighting properly. Should be all white, but for the sake of just go for 100% white and then bake the ambient occlusion. And name it ambient occlusion. Okay, save this image, and I'm gonna see you in Quixel in a second. Here we are back. Okay, so here we are back in Quixel. Quixel is not a free software, but it's really cheap. I think it's $80 for a full package, and of course you have to have Photoshop. So I encourage you to buy it if you are serious with texturing. Of course you can do it only with Photoshop, or you can do it with GIMP. I'm sure there are a lot of plugins, but just make your life easier and go by Quixel or go by Substance Painter. Actually, I think Substance is way better than Quixel, but this is I just own Quixel at home, so I cannot record Substance for you. But it's perfect. Quixel is perfectly fine. You can achieve a lot of stuff with that. So what I forgot to do is export our vase for Quixel. Be OBJ, selection only, and keep vertex normals. Usually you want to triangulate the faces as well, but I'm getting bad results with that. I don't know why. If somebody knows, leave me some info in the comments. And save it here. Vase 01, because we don't know how many vases we are going to do. Save the file. Go to Quixel. Go to DDO and load the mesh. Vase. If you want to use different materials on like different parts of your model, then you should bake an ID map as well. But since our model is it's a one-part model, then we don't need the ID map. So load in our normal map. Okay, load in our ambient occlusion map. Curvature, bake in 3DO. You can change the resolution of your texture here, but we are going to just go for automatic. So it's going to use the resolution from our baked maps. And I'm using RMA packed, that's roughness, metalness workflow. And it's packed perfectly for Unreal, so just use that. And I'm going to create a folder, Quixel just like this. Vase, Quixel. That's fine. And that's really all there is to it. I'll just create. If you want to skip this part because you are using another software for texturing, you just go straight to, I don't know, I will leave a marker. I'm fairly new to YouTube, so I don't know how it's really called, but just go like 10 minutes. And you will find the part with Unreal probably. So we're gonna fire up 3DO. Here's our model. It looks not very good because we baked the normal pretty poorly. So this is why you have those glitches over here. So what we're gonna do, we are just going to check where the glitches are. They are here. It's this part. So this is the one it's baked incorrectly. So I'm just going to go to my normal map, take a brush, go to this layer, where's our base normal map, copy the color, and just paint it over. That's just quick fix. And check it in 3DO. Oh my, yeah, that's some issues you get with Quixel sometimes. Refresh. Yep, it's not here anymore. It's fine. Okay, those black creases we get, it's from the ambient occlusion. It's just displayed too intense in Quixel, but don't worry, you will not have the same result in Unreal. It just displays really intense in Quixel. Okay, of course it crashed. So what I'm gonna do is go to materials, add a smart material, one that I created some time ago. I hope, at least. Okay, let's try this one. I hope the material is correct. And let's check it. Yeah, I told you. It's very basic. Oh my god, Quixel, why? I'm just going to change the scale for a smaller one. Yeah, that's fine. Let's check its metalness, roughness, the roughness. I'm just gonna hide it, it's really annoying. Okay, so we don't have roughness, and we don't have the metalness. Oh my, so this material is not working very well for us because I probably created it for a different workflow. So what I'm going to do is just add base material from Quixel, and we are going to search in stones and ceramic. I don't know how you say this word in English actually. Ceramic. In German it's ceramic. In Polish it's a completely different word. That's not really nice. Stone, concrete, cement, mason. Oh, that's pretty decent. Let's try this one. And what it will not, of course, it will not be very proper, because what you want to have is a roughness and metalness value created with the albedo, but yeah, what can we do? I was unprepared and now I'm paying the price. So what we want to do is, actually, let me try go for an overlay, multiply, overlay, and let's go down with the visibility. Okay, and let me check the roughness now. See, we having some sort of effects. Metalness should be whole black, because in metalness roughness workflow stuff is not metal, then it's just black. White is for metals, so we don't have any metals here, so it would be just plain black. So I want to save this project, because I'm just showing this for the sake of the tutorial really quickly. And what you want to do is export here and set path, tutorial, create another folder, base, textures, targa. Okay, the name will be just face, and RMA packed, and export all materials. And now I have created a set of textures that I can show you how to correctly plug into Unreal, and I will see you in a second in Blender with an export of an FBX to Unreal. Okay guys, we're back in Blender. What we're gonna check is the scale of the object. Go here, change this to metric, and degrees is fine for me, I'm European. Let's check. Okay, 51 cm. I want it to be like 60 centimeters high. Okay, that's fine. So now the scale has changed, so we go to object, apply, rotation scale again, smooth shading. Let's check recalculate, remove doubles just in case. So now it has the proper scale and rotation, everything, and it's recalculated. Next thing is the light map. So usually what you get is just one channel. Well, you always get one channel in the beginning. So you go to +1, and this will be our light map. It's perfectly fine. For light maps, just remember to use as much space as you can and never have overlapping stuff on each other. I know you use it sometimes, but overlapping for using the same material, for using the same piece of texture for another object or something, but in a light map you always want to have everything separately. So that's pretty much it. Now go to export FBX. We'll name it Vase 05. I just want to change the name because I had some trouble. I'm actually recording this part the second time. I don't know why, I just had some issues. And what you want to do in exports, selected objects, always scale 1, -Z, that's fine. Only mesh. And in geometry you want to have use modifiers, apply modifiers, and smoothing to face. Remember that, it's kind of important. And one mistake, I don't want to have a material exported from Blender. I want to create the material from scratch in Unreal. Usually I export materials, but actually this time I want to do it separately. And be sure that your origin is in the center of the scene. Otherwise you will have the origin in Unreal like somewhere here. If If you want to move something and rotate, it will be a pain. So remember, always origin in the center of the scene before you export. So export, settings are fine, vase 069, whatever, export. And in Unreal here we import the vase, and don't generate light map UVs, import normals because we have normals, and that's pretty much it. I'll just leave it hanging for a second so you can copy my presets if you have something differently in your import. Don't have any errors. The scale is correct. The lighting looks fine. The shading looks fine. Like this model is a piece of garbage, but you understand it. Like for tutorial purposes, it's correct, but it's disgusting. So now import the textures. I changed the name of the last one. It was called Reflections. It should be RMA. And import. Yes, let's. Oh. Okay. So what you want to check is should be default. This is for albedo, diffuse map, color map, whatever you call whatever map you use for color. RGB checked, that's fine. Then to normal, it should be normal map, and this should be not checked. And for all your roughness, specular, gloss, and metalness, and ambient occlusion maps, you have to uncheck this. Yes, very important. I didn't know that, and it caused me a lot of trouble. And save. And now we create a material. It will be super basic. Vase underscore zeros, was it 69? And we will give this material to our vase. And we will plug in our textures, and that's pretty much it. Textures, search for our vase textures, select them all, import them here. It's our normal map, so we plug the combined channels, the normal map, our albedo to the base color, and red channel, red, green, blue are RMA. So roughness, metallic metalness in Quixel, and the last one is ambient occlusion. Usually the ambient occlusion is too strong, so you just create a constants and multiply this result with the constants. Constants 1 is just one value for a color. It goes from black to white, and that's pretty much it. You can fiddle with it. It's not important right now, I guess. Apply, save, and there you go. Our disgusting vase is ready. Yes, very disgusting. But now you know how to import your meshes properly and export them from Blender to Unreal. Let's just check if the roughness map. You see, that's the proper one that I made like a year ago. Actually, I'm reusing some of my meshes to for this project. Yeah, it shows the normal. It's correct. Trust me, it's correct. Just it's very matte, doesn't have a lot of reflections, because the material we used in Quixel, its roughness was very plain. So yeah, you will not have, like on this one, on this object, this tiled stove, I used different values. As you can see, it has some glossiness to it. Like the correct amount of glossiness. Yeah, this vase is just delete it at once. Okay, that's all. Bye guys.